of the Travel That Matters virtual 30-day connection challenge. I am Angela.
And I am Anne, as I am going to keep saying, aka Mom.
And we are travel advisors.
And we really prefer working with those clients that want that connection to their destination and the experience, because connection for us is what travel is all about.
Yes. And so that's a great segue to today's challenge, which is to connect with your inner explorer and really, really, really let yourself imagine that amazing travel experience that you want to have in your life. Right now, obviously, a lot of what our community, our travel colleague community is talking about is domestic travel, because that's what people are likely to be more comfortable doing sooner when you're ready to get out.
And this week is USA.
It is National Travel
Tourism Week. I'm butchering that completely. Yeah. Anyway, this is a week dedicated to vacationing in the United States.
Yes, so it's a good week to talk about it and to think about it, and it'll be easier in the short term to travel domestically. But that doesn't mean that we stop thinking about those amazing trips that we want to take internationally, which hopefully will be sooner than later. So we wanted to share what our domestic and international dream vacation or dream destinations are today, and we would love to hear yours as well.
Yes.
So I'll go first with the domestic.
Okay.
There's actually a supplier that we work with that does tours all over the world, but they're more of an adventure-based tour company. And they have an itinerary that goes to Wyoming and Montana that is the Grand Tetons, Yellowstone, and Glacier National Park. And there's river rafting and hiking, and I think there's a part where you go maybe have cowboys cook for you. And to me, in my younger years, I think I would have been like, I don't need to go on a tour to experience that. It's in my country. I'll just show up and I'll figure it out.
I can speak the language. I can drive. I don't have to do any of those.
And I'm adventurous and I want to figure it out myself. But after being a travel advisor for as long as I have been, I actually really value having an expert guide me and just like go to the right spot at the right time and, know where to go when and how to, to schedule your day to avoid the crowds, and just like maybe finding a little spot that you wouldn't really know about without doing just a ton of research.
Right.
So that actually sounds really wonderful to me.
Well, it's also that you don't have to do all the research.
And I don't have to get myself there. Someone else gets me where I need to be.
You just show up at the starting point and then they take care of you.
Yeah, that sounds fabulous.
Really, really cool.
So something like that sounds
tomorrow.
Yeah, something like that sounds interesting to you. Please let us know because we can help. So that's my domestic one, and also I want to do the slot canyons in Utah for photography.
Photography, yeah.
And that one I want to guide because you could die because the rainstorm,
a flash flood comes and your history.
So there's a lot of planning that I feel like I wouldn't be comfortable with for my own safety, and also just to find those slot canyons that are so photogenic. I would love to have a professional person help me with that as well.
And if you've ever maybe had on your list to go to, like Scottsdale, Sedona are so well known for their spa resorts. And so if you had an international trip planned that maybe isn't going to happen until 2021, think about pampering yourself at a property that doesn't have 1,000 people at it. It's going to be a very intimate relationship where they're going to be able to keep everything under control, if that would be anything you'd be concerned about, and you get pampered again. I think pampered's the theme.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, if
So
somebody
that
cook
where
all my meals, I'm so tired of cooking all my meals. And you go and you have all this healthy food and have spa treatments.
is that what you want for your domestic one?
Yeah, I'm there. Well, because you can't go get a massage right now. So when that becomes
Yes.
available, that would be pretty amazing.
Yes, I would love a massage. Okay, so that's domestic for us. What would be your domestic destination? And I mean, there's resorts that we don't even think about that are amazing in the States that maybe aren't even on your radar, and we could help you with that too. But they're that maybe the budget that you wouldn't want to spend that amount of money maybe to visit the States because you're wanting to spend it to go internationally. So maybe this year you take that international budget and pamper yourself on something really cool and kind of exclusive and unique that you wouldn't have really maybe considered before.
And there are wonderful tour operators we work with that actually do cruises within the continental United States.
I think some people still might be a little bit off on cruising.
Well, I'm just saying that is if you are really just like, oh, I want to be on the water again. I think, again, because they're more intimate, smaller ships, not as many passengers, they're going to cap capacity and be really on top of it. I think it's another good option when we're still thinking domestic.
So, I wanted to share this. This is the Yellowstone photo. Like, doesn't that look amazing?
Yeah.
And you can go, and that one in itinerary I was talking about, you can go in hot springs and stuff. So it's definitely on my list.
Yeah. Obviously, the United States national parks are extraordinary. And
then on my international list, of course, is Antarctica, which we're going to talk about in a couple days. So I'm not going to talk about that now, but there's another destination, Slovenia, that I would really love to go to. And this is just an image of a lake there that has a castle on this little tiny island. And my reasoning for Slovenia, oh, sorry, Mom, hold. Get rid of that. Slovenia is on my list actually because of a travel colleague friend who she always asks people when we're on events together and we're like having dinner, she'll ask all the travel professionals around the table where would they want to live if they weren't going to live in the US. And her answer is Slovenia. And it's right next to Italy. It's a tiny country. It's like smaller than New Jersey. But it was named the most sustainable country on the planet a few years ago. There's a ton of outdoor activities. It's by the Alps. It's the Alps and the Mediterranean.
It's a gorgeous country.
Yeah. And we actually were supposed to go on a familiarization trip there this year, hopefully, but I'm not sure that that's going to happen now. But we definitely want to go when we can. It's just because me personally, I like travel that involves animals and landscapes, like just gorgeous landscapes. And what's cool about Slovenia is because it's Europe, it's got that old world European kind of all the history and the architecture that gives you that sense of European old world, but you have also the natural beauty and activities that go with that.
And if you have ample time, it's a great, excuse me as I clear my throat again, jump off point for other parts of Europe.
Yes. So what's your international?
Well, something I have wanted to do since probably the early 90s or even earlier than that is to visit Egypt. And for a long time, that was just not possible. And now, again, going back to the pampering theme, there are several of our very fabulous travel partners who have cruises that are on the Nile. And then they also have the pre and post land where you can spend time in Turkey or other parts of the world near Egypt. And that is at the very top of my list. I really, really want to see the pyramids and all of the other history.
Yeah, Egypt's on my list as well. Yeah. I have a very long list.
Well, yes, that's the top of my list, but the list is
Yeah.
still very lengthy.
And then actually, I also wanted to bring up a trip that I have taken that wasn't on my radar until, because I have, you have your list that you have, and then somebody brings up something, and then all of a sudden you have something on your list that you hadn't even considered before. And so when I was living in South Korea, one of my friends came to visit, and she wanted to do a trip in Southeast Asia with me. So we ended up going to Cambodia, and I really hadn't thought about Cambodia. I didn't even know really about Angkor Wat, honestly, at the time. I don't know how many people do know about Angkor Wat. But it's an amazing place. The country has so much tragic history that's very moving to be in, to experience. And it's just so, there's just so much that I don't think people realize about it. So that was one of my favorite, wasn't on my list, but I'm glad I went, destinations.
Which brings up the other one on my list is to do the Mekong River cruise, because it will touch on those places. So, we want to travel.
Yes, a cruise along the Mekong would be awesome as well. And go to Vietnam, and
a great way to see that part of the world again in a pampered environment.
Yes,
I'm all about that right now.
You don't have to figure out anything. You just get to have the cultural experience and connect with the other travelers that you're with. And
speaking of that, the country that was not on our radar at all, been 3 years ago now?
It was on my radar.
It was not on mine. We had planned this epic trip that, just to say briefly, we had not anticipated that we were going to be going to Europe. We thought we were going to be spending most of our time in Africa. Not true.
Tanzania. We went to Morocco. We were going to Morocco, which is right next to Spain. So we added on a trip to Tanzania when we went to Morocco, even though Morocco and Tanzania are nowhere near one another.
Not even. Should never really be in the same trip.
But we had an opportunity to meet with somebody that we were going to potentially partner with on a travel venture in Tanzania while we were, so we planned it while we were on the continent. Let's go. So we did. And then because we were in Morocco, we were right next to Spain. So we went to Spain. And then we had another opportunity come up where we met this company they won the Portuguese version of Shark Tank, because they did these really cool volunteer programs and like a sustainable travel kind of company. And they invited us to Portugal. So we added Portugal on to our trip at the last minute so we could meet with them and have them show us Portugal, which was really amazing.
Yeah, even though I typically don't do repeats, we didn't
have much time there.
It was pretty fast and furious, but
there's a lot more to the country.
Such an amazing country. Oh my goodness. It's beautiful, and the wine and the food. My favorite dessert in the whole wide world is theirs. Pastille tart. I think I'm probably butchering that name.
You're saying it right.
No, I don't think I am at all. I just know it's absolutely yummy. It's the only time I've ever taken dessert from the airport onto the plane, because I had to at least have one more.
So what is
so I'm ready to go now.
What would be your first most desired domestic U.S. destination to go to? And we're talking like dream, not like go visit your family, which of course that's maybe for some people that is the big dream. But I mean beyond that, like if money was no object and time was no object and you wanted to have an incredible experience in the States, where would you go? Mm-hmm. And the same with international. If like free travel, not free as in monetary, but freedom.
Yes.
Freedom of movement and, just an experience that you think would be epic. Please share it with us. We'd love to hear it.
Yes. And it's kind of also in terms of the kind of experience you want to have. Like, you're about the adventure and the hiking, and we have clearly determined that my next trip, I am going to be pampered.
Yes. She's going to pamper. I'm going to go someplace where I can take amazing photos and be outside.
Which actually can be on the same trip.
Yes, it can. It can, absolutely. But maybe not.
Well, I can go to Egypt. on my own.
Hey, I didn't say that. Okay, thank you for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. for our last day, day 30, and then on Wednesday at 2 p.m., we are going to have our interview with our Antarctica expert. So join us for that as well. Okay, and then that's Wednesday, May 6th. Okay, thanks, guys.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
Bye.